The exercise in this video can save you a ton of time in your leg training. It can help you get rid of knee pain and prevent patellar tendonitis, patellofemoral pain syndrome, so runner's knee, as well as IT band syndrome, and anyone can do it. But if you are 35 plus, there's one serious mistake you must avoid, but more on that in a bit. Let's start with the basic technique. You stand on one foot, lift the other foot up in the air a bit, and then you squat by pushing the hip back. So you don't squat straight down, but you push the hip back. As you can see, the shin stays a bit more vertical. Go as low as you feel comfortable, and then you push back up again. You can go all the way down, but that is not really necessary to get a benefit out of this exercise. Again, down and up. Nothing special, right? We've seen this 1,000 times. So let's make this a bit crazier by rolling 3 more movements into this one, right? Same basic setup. Go down as low as feels comfortable, and then you push back up, and as you're pushing back up, you're lifting the knee as high as you can. You're lifting the hip as high as you can. You're bracing your buttocks muscles and your abs. Hold for a count of 2. Now repeat. So that's the improved version. What's the benefit? We are training the stabilizing muscles in the lower leg. We're training the quad muscles. We're training the gluteals. And by lifting this up here, we're also training the stabilizing muscles in the hip flexors, and the abdominal muscles. We're also practicing alignment of the upper body, of the torso, and the knees. Which brings us to our little technique mistakes. Mistakes you want to avoid is pushing the weight too much towards your heel. So you want the weight to be evenly distributed on the sole of your foot. Some call it tripod foot, 1 point under your heel, 1 point under the balls of your foot near the big toe, 1 point on the outside. Next up, you've got your knee alignment. So when you're doing this exercise, you want your knee to be aligned over the midfoot. Don't let it cave into the inside. Don't let it travel too far to the outside. Next alignment mistake, your hip. Avoid this hip from dropping down. In research, that's called contralateral pelvic drop. And it is one hidden cause of knee pain, right? So that is why we're pulling this hip up. We're strengthening the muscles that help us maintain this alignment. So later on, when you go back to sports, running, whatever your sport is, these muscles will be strong. The better movement pattern will be ingrained. Risk of knee pain goes down. And finally, you've got your upper body. The mistake you want to avoid here is the so-called ipsilateral trunk lean. So you're leaning to the side of your standing foot. This right here. Something else you want to avoid. You can also do the exercise on a stair, on a stepper, or by standing on a ledge and dropping your foot down behind you or on the side. But the version on flat ground is most convenient because, yeah, you can do it anywhere. You can do it at the bus stop, in the subway, at the dentist's office, whatever. There are unlimited options. The only limitation is that there are 3 mistakes that can make the whole thing backfire. Mistake number 1 is not scaling it slowly, right? When you first start this exercise, the idea is to only work in the limited range of motion that feels good for you. Even if you only do this, you are still getting a benefit out of this exercise. You have forces that go through the quad tendon, the patellar tendon. You're loading the knee, you're loading the muscles, you're practicing good alignment. So even if you're working in limited range of motion, that's good. Mistake number 2 is ignoring alignment, right? Like I said, hip alignment, knee alignment, torso alignment. If you find yourself swaying that much, make the exercise easier. Put maybe the other toe down, hold on to something for balance, then slowly wean yourself off. If you ignore the alignment, you're losing many of the benefits of this exercise, and this would be like trying to use the infinity gauntlet without the stones, and we all know how that ended. Now let's get to what I think most serious mistake number 3, going too deep. And by going too deep, I don't mean this range of motion here, but I mean going all the way down, like in a single leg squat or similar exercises. And I no longer recommend these full range of motion single leg exercises under heavy load because they can cause injury to the meniscus. It's okay to go down, but stop a few inches above full range of motion. And if you're doing this on flat ground, I mean, if you're doing the regular version, going all the way down like this, and then pushing back up, you will already get 95% of the benefits of this exercise, and going to full range of motion may yield a bit more strength in the extreme range of motion. But honestly, for most people, recreational athletes, everyday folk, the added benefit stands in no relation to the extra risk that you're taking on, because like I said, deep knee flexion under heavy load can injure the meniscus in your knee, and that is an injury not to be taken lightly. In terms of sets and reps, 2 sets of 8 slow repetitions is a good starting point, and then you can build up from there. My recommendation, first build up range of motion until you can go all the way down, and once you can do full range of motion, you can use one of the following 5 variations to make it more challenging, or if the exercise is too difficult, you can use these variations to make it easier. The first one is holding on to something either for balance or to take some weight off your knee. It can be a sturdy piece of furniture, a beam, whatever you find. The second variation, doing the exercise extremely slowly. So instead of going down, up and down normally, you would take at least 5, maybe 10 seconds on the eccentric, and then another 5 to 10 seconds on the concentric part of the movement. So you're going down really slowly, and then when you push up, you also push up very slowly. Next variation is the exact opposite. Instead of going up slowly, you try to push up quickly. So on the eccentric, I would still go down in a controlled fashion. Once you're down here, push up as hard as you can. So go down, regular pace, tempo, and push up. Next up, you can load the exercise using additional weight, and this brings several benefits. Not only will there be more of a strengthening effect for your quads and glutes and the core and that whatnot, but when you're up here, you can also place the weight on your knee. So now your hip flexor is working against additional resistance. And today, hip flexors are often weak because we sit a lot, and a weak hip flexor cannot be stretched. So to do this exercise, again, regular execution, go down, go up, and as you go up, put the weight here, right? Next one, 2 dumbbells, it's a bit more challenging. Again, go down, push back up, and put the weight here. Now let's talk about how you can adapt this exercise to the different injuries. So for patellar tendonitis, you want to focus on the slow variation. Use limited resistance at the beginning, respect what your tendon can tolerate, and range of motion shouldn't matter much. You should be able to go down all the way as long as resistance is slow enough. Then you slowly scale up. Focus on the time under tension. Now with patellofemoral pain syndrome, the situation is a bit more complicated. For my book, The Knee Reboot, I read over 300 research studies on patellofemoral pain syndrome, and this injury has what they call in research a multifactorial etiology, meaning lots of different causes can contribute or potentially contribute to this injury happening. And with the exercise we're doing here, we are already working on several of these potential causes, but still it's only part of what you need to do to get rid of PFPS completely. So this can only be part of your approach. You also want to be careful with exercising through pain. Avoid pain as best as possible. Same applies to IT band syndrome. Contributing factors are hip alignment, leg alignment, and torso alignment. Sound familiar? So these are many of the points we are practicing with this exercise. In the ITBS, the 30-degree knee angle causes the irritation in the distal part of the IT band. And so if this exercise causes you discomfort there, only practice the upper part, use it to practice your alignment, and that's that. And that's how you adapt the exercise to the different knee injuries. Okay, I almost forgot. I wanted to ask you whether you're up for a little challenge. 3 minutes of this exercise, 90 seconds on the right, 90 seconds on the left. Go through it with me, follow along. Don't just watch the video, but actually do it. And the crows, they're also absolutely pumped about this. So let's get started. The 90 seconds on the left. Again, sit the hip back, knee tracking over the toe. Go down slowly and under control. As low as you feel comfortable. You don't have to go all the way down. And then slowly push back up. At the top, lift the knee, lift the hip as high as you can, brace the core, brace the ab, hold for a count of 2, and then repeat with the next repetition. Down slowly. And these are the types of exercises that I love because you spend so little time training, and when you try this, you'll notice that, oh, it's more challenging than it seems. And especially if you begin loading this exercise with dumbbells, it will have a fantastic training effect. Now, this will not turn you into Jay Cutler, of course, or the next Chris Bumstead. But honestly, if you're into minimalist training, that's the opposite end of the spectrum. So this is about spending very little time, getting great benefits, and staying healthy and fit. It's not about building huge muscles or becoming the next pro athlete. and push back up slowly. Perfect. 90 seconds on the left. Whoop. Now let's go for 90 seconds on the right. I am not using the dumbbells because I have volleyball later today, so I don't want to fry my legs. I'm recording this in English and in German. Okay. Push back up, focus on alignment, torso upright, hip level, knee high, hip high. Brace the glutes, brace the abs, 2-second count, and back down. And this may seem simple, but once you try it, you will notice it's actually challenging. Like I said, don't go full range of motion, start small, limit the range of motion to what feels safe. Knee high, as high as you can, hip high, brace the abs, brace the glutes. Next repetition. And you can already see how the musculature in my lower legs is working. It's much easier if you do it in socks on a flat ground. The more uneven the ground is, the softer it is, the more challenging it will be for your stabilizing muscles. Knee high, hip high, brace the abs, brace the glutes. But you may be familiar with the SIED principle, specific adaptation to impose demands. So my recommendation, wear the shoes that you wear in your sport, train on the surface that you play your sport on, and you get the most benefits out of this exercise. Okay, that's it for now. Now this video is part of the 80-20 knee rehab series. So what are the 20% of effort that we can do to get 80% of the results? Little time invested, but great benefits gained. And if you're interested in the other videos, they will appear somewhere here, there, maybe somewhere. So that's it for now. If you have any questions, post a comment below. For anything else, send a raven, and I will see you next time if you subscribe. If not, who knows? Let fate decide.